Oh, she will. I'll handle things from here, Emma. There's a certain technique I find useful when dealing with difficult customers such as her. She may not give information up voluntarily, but that doesn't mean she can't be persuaded to. I've been doing brain chess all day. Sure you have, though. Let's start by observing our opponent. You big bag. I ain't telling y'all nothing, you hear? Now quit wasting my time before I really blow a fuse. As we've seen, she's very quick-tempered. She'll try to cut the conversation dead whenever possible. I won't have much time to think, so I'll need to be swift and decisive. This heart is definitely hiding something from me. So my first move is to discover what that something is. Mind chess, comrades. Let's talk about this reasonably. I can see you're a little agitated, Miss Hart. Let's just calm down and try to talk. I am calm, dang you. Leastways I will be, just as soon as y'all quit yanking my dang chain. Whenever you're done. That's better. Being a news hound, all about keeping a cool head no matter what the world throws at you, see? Speaking of news hounds, this might interest you. I met one a few days ago. She was a very hungry young reporter indeed. A reporter with a very particular turn of phrase, similar to your own in fact. Oh yeah? She spoke like me, huh? I guess it could have been someone I know. Her name is Tabby Lloyd, and if I had closed my eyes, I could have believed I was listening to you. She told me about something she called the Chief. She was talking about you, wasn't she? Oh, so y'all met Tabby, huh? Well, ain't that something? Where did y'all bump into her? She's a great kid, reckon. Wait, no. No, you don't. You ain't getting on my good side bringing her into this, you sneaky snake. Oh, you nearly had me, too. Interesting. Talking about Miss Lloyd seems to make her lower her guard a little. I think we can use that to our advantage. I need you to tell me everything you know, and don't you dare leave anything out. Go jump in a creek, you big bully. Why should I tell you anything? You don't got nothing to do with me, nor me with you neither. Time to deploy my clue. I don't have anything to do with you? That's a little unkind, don't you think? After all, I know your apprentice. I know her pretty well, in fact. Yeah, well... guess it does seem kind of cold of me to say that if you know her pretty good. I wouldn't want the poor kid thinking I don't give a rat's behind. Good, then you'll tell us what you know? Fine. See, it's like this. Got me a scoop. Wait, what am I thinking? Dang it, Lotta, you can't let him bamboozle you that easy. What was it about a scoop? Forget it. It was nothing. You were on your way to school? Yeah, that's how that goes. How embarrassing. A professional journalist making a careless slip of the tongue. You have a scoop, don't you? Now tell me what it is. I forgot to. Excuse me. Use my face off. Alright, I got me a scoop. A big one. I can't just go blabbing about it to y'all. Got bills to pay. She may be hiding something very important. I have to get it out of her somehow. We need to know the details of this scoop. She's quick to anger, but she's also quick to let key information slip. Now that we know that, the rest shouldn't be too hard. Let's see what else we can get out of her. This scoop of yours, does it have something to do with the auction? You know what? I clean forget. But you tried to infiltrate an underground auction. It only stands to reason that you observed something. Otherwise, what would you have to write about? I don't know what to tell you. I didn't hear nothing. You did hear the sound of something? If you didn't hear the sound of nothing, does that mean you did hear the sound of something? Something during your time in this room? Well, see, it wasn't nothing really, it was just a little noise is all. I wouldn't even make page 16, forget I mentioned it. So, something happened during the auction. Something that made a noise of some kind. This could be a valuable clue. Your big scoop involves something criminal in nature, doesn't it? Might be it did, might be it didn't. Which is it? This is important. Alright. You don't gotta holler at me like that. Ain't done nothing shameful or nothing, just snuck in and did some undercover reporting. Silent treatment, huh? Well, two can play that game. Okay. Oh no. We're gonna run out of time. Some curses. Once more onto the breach. I know what the scoop is about. I'll be the judge of whether your actions are shameful or not. An unlawful entry into private property is very shameful indeed. In fact, it's a crime. Oh, but I guess you're a prosecutor, huh? You're allowed to do stuff like that. Let's not mention the fact that I handed in my badge, shall we? Still, it don't amount to a whole hill of beans, right? There's folks out there that would have done way worse. Murder, for one. Next to murder, trespassing ain't hardly nothing. So your scoop is about murder. From your mutterings about murder just now, I gather that your scoop has something to do with a homicide. No, I was just talking all hypothetical like. You know, about murder being the big one and all. Ain't nothing worse than murder. Not the most skillful evasion I've heard in my career. Look, I done told you, okay? It's not even the auction, I'll cop to that. But murder? I don't know nothing about no murder. Ain't seen nothing, ain't heard nothing. Scout's honor. I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I think we're gonna run out of time again. Yep. Scoop about a murder. You told me you heard something during the auction. You claimed it wasn't important, but it must have been, otherwise why remember it? I think it was something very memorable indeed. In fact, I believe it was the cry of a murder victim. I'm handsome and reliable. Alright, it's true. I went out smack dab in the middle of a murder scene, but only by accident. And that's all you're getting out of me. Won't be no scoop left otherwise. The murder Ms. Hart witnessed. It must be the same murder we ourselves have been investigating. That should prove to be a very valuable piece of information indeed. Give me my health back. Perhaps we should finish up by confirming the credibility of her claim. Thank you. I have her on the back foot now. Time to finish this. Are you really in the middle of the scene? You said you wound up in the middle of a murder scene. Is that really true? You're calling me a liar now? How are we a man? I'm real mad. It's fine. I'm a journalist. I'm not gonna sell stories if I can't trust that I'm telling the truth. I got me a motto, you know? Faster than anybody, honester than everybody. A motto, huh? That could be an important clue. Bear it in mind. Tell me more about the incident. I need you to describe the murder in detail. It's vitally important. I wish I could help y'all, but I don't rightly recall a whole bunch. Ain't much I could tell you. Sorry. I mean, look at me. I can't even get my facts straight half the time. Time to deploy my clue. I can't imagine being so vague on the facts is a trait valued among journalists. Surely accuracy and honesty are what's necessary for when reporting on a story. Well, see. It seems your so-called information is not credible after all. Look, there was a murder, and I was there. I can even prove it. You can prove it? You can prove it, can you? How? I got it right. Wait, you heard that? I was just talking to myself. I don't think nothing of it. She's still hiding something. It's a very vital clue. Be honest, Ms. Hart. I know there's something you're not telling me. Ain't nothing left to tell, dang it. I done spilled my guts already. I know you've been keeping something from me. And that something is proof. Proof related to the murder you witnessed. Proof strong enough to form the basis of a story you're hoping to sell. Eat shit. Sorry, Lana. You must suffer. Dang it all the heck, give me a break, will ya? Well, come clean, okay? That's what you want, right? Here, I done snapped me a photo. Happy now? You better be. And that's checkmate. Give me back my health, thank you. You deserve that. Man, that's a no mistake sort of timer on that. I can't believe I let that happen, betrayed by my own big mouth. Well, it happened, so it's time to tell us everything. I saw the whole thing, watched the auction from start to finish. But you didn't just watch it, right? You took pictures too. Yeah, about that. So like I said, I was spying on the whole thing right from the get-go. It was all shouting out bids and somebody'd win something and bam, down comes the hammer. Head on upstairs and pay, shouts the old ringleader, and then the whole thing starts over again. Anyhow, as soon as that happened, I had to think quick. That's when I ran behind the statue and hid. And who was it that eventually appeared? I didn't see nothing, but I heard something that made me pretty sure that it was whoever placed the winning bid. The sweet, sweet sounds of cold, hard cash. I'm not sure I have any idea what that sounds like. Kind of someone counting bills, perhaps? Anyhow, the deal was you settled your bills up here. I had two people yabbering for a little while. Wait, so two people came up on the elevator? You betcha, my guess is the other one was our friend the ringleader. Anyway, yabber, 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 on it goes for a little while, and scream. And that shook me up pretty good, so I hunkered down in my hiding place and tried to stay out of sight. So you didn't see the moment of the murder? Nah, but I heard it real good. I'm in the car. Vroom vroom. I meow. You didn't try and help whoever was being attacked? I'm trying to be funny, girlie. It doesn't suit you none. Just a dainty little journalist all on her lonesome. You think I was fixing to jump in and save the day? Dainty? Anyhow, there was a bunch of rustling sounds. I hear you everywhere. Oh no, that sounds horrifying. Especially when I'm doing Lotta's voice. Right about when that was happening, I got to feeling pretty bad about what I'd done. That makes sense, I guess. After all, you didn't... I didn't remember to get my camera out and snap a single picture. Are you good, or... Scoop like that drops right in my lap and I miss it. Somebody ought to tan my hide. Anyhow, then a little more time goes by and there's a kind of clattering noise. I'm thinking, gotta get the shot this time, and so I grab one real quick from the shadows there. Can we see this photograph? Oh, do I have to? Here. That's... The person in the red raincoat, the one who attacked Kay. So Kay's raincoated assailant also attacked the victim here in the storeroom. Then proceeded up to the roof where they assaulted Kay. Ms. Hart's picture data jotted down in my organizer. There's only one person in this picture. Where is the victim? Weird, huh? I wondered the same thing. Or two people, but there was only one in the shot I got. I didn't see nobody nowhere else in the room, neither. Well, that's the killer, alright. At least I'm pretty sure it is. So we're saying the victim disappeared. How did you know it was the killer just by looking? Because they're literally right-handed with blood. How else would that get there? And the auction just carried on after that. Oh, that's how much. And the auction just carried on after that? Sure did. They just went right along like nothing had happened. Rich folks is crazier than a box of frogs. I'll never understand how they think. Crazier than a box of frogs. Funny, I find journalists a struggle to understand as well. Okay, so we have our statement. Ooh. Well, I'm glad that's over. Jesus. How you doing, Kay? You're fine? How about you? Do I have to queue? Do I have to... Okay. Oop, here we go. If the storeroom was the actual seat of the crime, then you'd expect the body to have been up here at some point as well. Well, yeah. I'm so tall now. But think back to when Ms. Hart told us about how the customers left the auction. Do you remember? Of course. They came up from downstairs, back through the storeroom and... Oh. Exactly. The killer would have had to hide the body in order to avoid his discovery. The question is, where did they hide it? If you wouldn't mind putting your skills to work for me now. I'd love to. Just tell me what you need and I'll get right on it. Very well. Then I'd like you to check for blood residue. A luminol test, in other words. Sure thing. Prepare to witness the power of science. I've never seen somebody's eyes actually sparkle with anticipation before. Alright, how about we test the ladder over there first? Based on Ms. Hart's picture, I'd say the person in the red raincoat was about to climb it and make their escape. Which means there's a high chance of a positive result. And if it happens to land on some blood, you'll see it react just like this. Ugh, it still feels super raw to see it just appear like that. Anyway, that's a positive, but it's still faint. Trying it a couple more times should be enough to really make it stand out. Yeah, that brought it out nicely and made it feel that much more real. Anyway, I think you've got the gist of how to look for blood traces now, right? I'm sure there's still more to be found, so why don't you give it a try? And that's how it's done. Take a good look around and see if you can find some other places to test with the luminol. Yeah, I want to test the big box with chains on it.
Mr. Edgeworth's blood!
But how could it have gotten in there?
Maybe somebody put something with blood on it in there?
That whole ass human?
There's still places we haven't tested yet.
Let's see what else we can find. I want to see if it'll let me... Yeah, I just want to spray everywhere. Oh. What do you have to say, Lana? I wasn't about to. She just doesn't want to get sprayed. What's up, you guys?
We've got a positive there's blood here. But how come?
Probably because this is where the murder was actually committed, I'd say.
Oh, looks like some of it drips through the floor below too.
Gross. Okay. Alright, then that concludes our phase of our investigation. But I wanted to spray stuff more. I wonder where they put the corpse. Could it be in the giant box, the only thing that you can put a corpse in here? Blood in the closed box can only mean one thing. That is where the body was hidden. I'm certain of it.
I wonder who won that box in the auction.
I haven't the foggiest. It was a very helpful discovery.
Now you just hold your horses there. There's no way a body could have been in there.
What do you mean?
I took a look at that there box when I first got in here. Looked to be just about the perfect size for a little hide-and-go-seek, if that need arose. And maybe it would have been if I could have opened it. But it was wrapped in chains and locked up tight, and I ain't no escapologist. The murder happened just a little after I scooped it out, so can't nobody have put no body in there.
Wrapped in chains and locked up tight, you say? That's odd. Because it doesn't look to be wrapped in chains any longer.
Huh? Well, slap my head and call me silly. Could have swore it was, though.
I wonder if it's the closed box from the Maya Fey case. I think we've examined all we can now.
Great, time to see what's waiting down below. When did those two start getting along so well? I think Edgeworth is jealous. Sorry, buddy. Gee, isn't this right where the body was? Well, no, where we found blood. We found blood here. Yo, what's up? Surprise! What are you idiots doing? This room.
This is the auction room?
Eustace, you suck so much. She's just like, what? Wait, but she's...
You can't do this. This is going way overboard.
You see, there's the puddle of blood. On Karma to the rescue.
You'll have to forgive me.
I meant to hit a certain cowardly ex-prosecutor. Something keeps getting in my way. Something... Right there. Francisca. So, what are you doing here, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I still believe Kay to be innocent.
And we're supposed to care what you believe?
You no longer have the right to an opinion. I am Francisca von Karma and I have no intention of stopping here or now. But you chose to stop by giving up your badge, and so our game has already come to an end. My badge was an obstacle to proceeding along the road I've chosen. I haven't stopped, I've simply cleared the way ahead. And now I'm free to follow that road, all the way to the truth. So don't you think for a second that my conviction has changed. I'm every bit as dedicated as I ever was. You seem to think you know what lies at the end of this road to the truth. In that case, I demand you show me. I'll explain my current theory first, and if your road fails to lead anywhere, my whip will happily guide it. Woman, please don't hit your brother. It's getting weird. It's giving stepsister porn. Can we not? The victim used her keycard and entered this chamber with her killer. She was then stabbed with the candelabrum by the culprit and subsequently died as a result. We know the identity of the murderer thanks to the letters she exchanged with the victim. And we know the location of the murderer is here in the committee's trial chamber. The blood on the floor of this room proves my theory. Game, set, match, Miles Edgeworth, QED.
She seems pretty confident, huh?
Pathetic. Well, Miles Edgeworth, do you think you can bring my case crashing down around my ears? If you really have found the road to the truth, you'd be so kind as to point me towards it. I'll be happy to. Settle in, Francisca. I'm about to pave that road with incontrovertible evidence. The victim used her keycard and entered this chamber with their killer. She was then stabbed with the candelabrum by the culprit and subsequently died as a result. We know the identity of the murderer thanks to the letters she exchanged with the victim. We know the location of the murderers here in the committee's trial chamber. The blood on the floor of this room proves my theory. Okay. First we're gonna press everything. What you got for me, sugar? You're sure the data from the security system is accurate? That data is just like me, perfect in every way. There's no room for doubt on either front. Well, your theory is far from perfect. I suppose I'm not going to change your mind on this so easily, am I? Correct. As I said, the victim entered the room with her killer. She was then stabbed with the candle. Okay. Reyes. What you got? And the stab wounds she sustained are a perfect match for the candelabrum in question. The 3 wounds inflicted by metal spikes of some kind in 3 places simultaneously. Even you have to agree there aren't many objects that could do that. Furthermore, Grandma has confirmed the murder weapon in her report. And there's absolutely no doubt in your mind that it was the candelabrum. None whatsoever. And as for the culprit... Okay, we don't have information on.
Hold it!
Have you managed to prove conclusively that the letter we found on the victim was sent by Kay? I wasn't aware there was any doubt on that front. Are you suggesting it was a forgery? Well, if there was any doubt, there isn't any longer. Document analysis turned up nothing. Nothing to suggest the involvement of anyone other than the sender or the recipient, or of any forgery. Are you saying that they found Kay's prints? No, only the victims. Haven't you been listening? Document analysis found nothing to suggest the letter was a forgery. Face it, the letter was sent by Kay Faraday, and a fact more than adequately proves the identity of the murderer.
Hold it!
Do we know? You can prove that the murder happened here in the committee chamber, I suppose. Von Comna is perfect in every way. Or did you forget when you handed in your badge? Thank you for the tea. I'm now on the phone. It's probably less annoying. Oh no, I'm upside down. You gave me tea and then spilled it.
Hold it!
Has the blood been analyzed to see who it belongs to? It has, and unsurprisingly, it was confirmed to be that of the victim. And it has occurred to you that where it was found may not be where the murder in fact took place. How quickly you forget, Miles Edgeworth. Evidence is everything in the courtroom. Thank you, Takai. So please, present your proof that the murder occurred elsewhere, or kindly stand down. Proof that the murder occurred elsewhere, huh? This isn't a courtroom, but that doesn't mean I can't give her evidence she so clearly desires. Perhaps, but she doesn't know what we know. You're right, we've got a certain scientific discovery up our sleeves. And the discovery will show her the road I've found is the truth. Now that I don't need them to drive me to drugs.
Objection!
Drugs? If I remember correctly. The blood discovered in this room was located at the foot of the Goddess of Justice statue. Murder under the guise of the divine, a brazen act even for a cold-blooded killer. Except that may not be true at all. Take a look at this if you would. It's a blood stain we discovered in the storeroom directly above the committee chamber. As you can see, the blood we found looks to have dripped through to the room below. And the elevator it dripped down from descends directly to the foot of the statue. Ah, you noticed. Then you agree with that the murder cannot in fact have happened in this room. Drugs. I put it to you that the victim was killed in this room above, and only afterwards was she moved down here. The goddess of justice did not witness the murder. She witnessed a killer trying to cover their tracks. Uh-oh, we got the finger waggle. Why is she smiling? Sorry, I was just thinking back to a very similar situation. Well done, Miles Edgeworth. You've proven yourself to be even more foolish than I thought. Ouch. Have you forgotten the picture you just showed me, or are you really that airheaded? Even a cursory glance shows that there was far more blood in here in the committee chamber than upstairs. You're trying to tell me that all of the blood dripped down from above, Miles Edgeworth? If it had, your storeroom stain would need to be 10 times as big. I say the murder happened down here. There's no way it could have happened anywhere else. And it's as insightful as ever, Francisco, but you've played right into my hands. How so? You are correct. There is far less blood upstairs than one would expect. The question is, why? A trifling detail in the face of my previous explanation. Alas, your explanation doesn't account for why there was blood in the storeroom in the first place. Surely you don't think some spatter managed to shoot itself all the way up there, do you? Yes, a fountain of blood. What are we oohing about? No way indeed, it's completely impossible. So how about this? What if this explains the difference in the amounts of blood observed? A weapon was removed here. The victim died of 3 stab wounds, wounds that would have bled profusely. Exactly, as proven by the amount of blood we found on the floor of this room. Silence, you half-baked, hair-brained rookie. A stab wound bleeds heaviest at one particular point in time.
Oh, I know. When the weapon is removed, right?
Precisely. I believe the body was brought down to the committee chamber with the candelabrum still in its chest. And then, when it was finally removed, created the difference in the amount of blood we see between the 2 locations.
But why? What was the killer trying to do?
I imagine they were trying to give the impression that the murder happened down here. As we know, Miss Springer's keycard was used late last night. Judging by the time listed in the record, I'd hazard a guess that it was used by the killer when they entered the room to create their elaborate setup. But why would they have needed to do all of this in the first place? Perhaps because a person with a face to hide would fear the storeroom being found in the investigation? If they were involved with the underground auction, they couldn't afford to have their dirty secret exposed. Did we ever explain the underground auction? Does anybody... We just discovered this and we're just like, here's a thing that happened, and everybody's just like, yeah, okay. Underground. Oh no, she's like, what the fuck?
What the actual fuck, Miles Edgeworth?
You should take a look at the storeroom for yourself. The items up there tell quite a story. One that should more than explain what was going on here last night. It's almost endearing, Miles Edgeworth, how desperately you want to protect your friend. There's something just beneath the surface of this case. Something bigger than all of us. Money. And Kay's only crime was to have the bad fortune to fall right into the middle of it. That's quite the hyperbolic claim, Miles Edgeworth. Hyperbolic? Me? Surely you're the one making a mountain out of my perfectly reasonable molehill. You're working with Interpol on international cases, so why are you investigating a domestic murder? I'll tell you why. Because this case has something to do with the smuggling ring you've been chasing. You followed the trail of items being smuggled by the ring and wound up here. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me there's something I sense isn't related to all of this. I'm very pleased to learn that you giving up your badge didn't completely relieve you of your senses. Scruffy here told me about the circumstances that led up to that, by the way. You did the right thing, detective. The shock on his fucking... Like, I did? Fuck. I've never done that before. So am I right, Francisca? This is the incident part of the broader... Is this incident part of the broader case you're working? Was the underground auction really already on Interpol's radar? Wouldn't you like to know? But you don't need to, and so you won't. Then you knew, didn't you? That the auction was being held here in the chamber. Yes, I mind. I'm not doing your voice anymore. Oh shit, you! No good button and pain in the you-know-what. Your testimony is not required, and neither is your presence. Just beat the shit out of her, it's fine. You're a liar is what you are. You lied under oath that one time. Seems like Ms. Von Karma is none too fond of Ms. Hart, huh? I don't think she's her biggest fan now. Stop it! Stop whipping me! Use the safe word. What is the meaning of this interruption, Miles Edgeworth? Explain! Ms. Hart here helped us out by describing how the auctioneer was dressed. And it seems they were wearing the exact same outfit as the victim, Miss Rosie Ringer. But that would mean the victim was also the ringleader? Look. It seems I have some new information to consider. It's true that I came here to investigate the underground auction. And to arrest the head of operations, the auctioneer. But if Miss Hart is to believe the ringleader is dead, I guess that means that your journey here today was wasted. I suppose it does, nonetheless. I, Franziska von Karma, refuse to leave empty-handed. Time for a rematch, Miles Edgeworth. Fine by me. But you may find that your whip will go sorely underused this round. Sibling Faye... Fine, I accept your little explanation. That would make the storeroom the actual scene of the crime, yes? In which case, the murderer is someone connected to the auction. And if the photographer is to be believed, the victim was the auctioneer and the culprit was an attendee. The killer lay in wait for the victim in the storeroom where the exchange of illicit goods was to take place. Then they stabbed the victim in the chest with a piece of merchandise, the candelabrum. There, does that about sum it up? Because I won't be accepting rebuttals. I'm afraid you might have to. There's a serious hole in your testimony.
There is? I didn't spot any. Good thing you're the one in charge here, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright then, time to fight back. You have to win this for us.
And I will. I'm to take Francisca's testimony to task.
Oop, I clicked off the game, oh no.
Press.
Hold it!
You conceded that point rather easily. I can't help but be suspicious.
I'm not in the habit of denying facts that are readily supported by the evidence. That's all there is to it. You were able to show that the murder actually took place in the storeroom.
Hold it!
And how exactly did you come to that conclusion?
Members of the big building staff were questioned extensively, but none mentioned the secret storeroom. It seems its existence was known only to a handful of people.
And of course, the storeroom was where the items that were to be sold in the auction were being kept. I'm glad we've gone over these very basic facts.
Hold it!
So you believe... Excuse me. So you believe the victim and the ringleader were one and the same?
I do, and the murderer was... Why are you asking her this? You just said the exact same thing yourself, dummy.
So I did, but I was merely confirming Francisca's reasoning in order to...
Oh, don't give me that horse feed. You get caught saying something stupid, I'll give you a little laugh and move on with your day.
The murderer was one of the auction attendees. No. Of course, assuming that our friend, the photographer's word can be trusted. I can't quite tell if they love or hate one another. Anyway, the more relevant point here is how the culprit actually carried out their plan.
Hold it!
How exactly did they manage that, may I ask? Miss Hart was in the storeroom too, I remember.
Objection!
Oh man, I forgot how high her voice is.
Yes, hiding someplace. And if you've seen the storeroom yourself, you know that there's plenty of other places to hide too.
So you're saying the killer was hiding out of sight while they awaited the victim's arrival?
I believe we can reasonably assume the murder took place after the auction had concluded. After all, the victim was the auctioneer herself. She would surely have needed to be present throughout the proceedings.
She thinks it happens afterwards? Would you mind adding that statement to your testimony, Francisca?
I believe we can reasonably assume that the murder happened after the auction concluded. Alright.
Nope. Okay. And continued back. Is that... Sorry, sister. It seems you're one step behind yet again, Francisca.
How so?
The auctioneer was not, in fact, the victim, and I can prove it. This is the statement Ms. Hart gave us.
Well, if she made it, it's not with the ass she used to say it. Did I ask you to open your mouth?
Can't imagine why everyone is horny for this woman. Calm down and listen for a second, Francisca. Ms. Hart witnessed at least some of the events surrounding the murder. And she confirmed that the auction continued even after the murder had occurred. I don't like it when she stands next to me. How would that have been possible without an auctioneer, hmm? It wouldn't, so see. The victim couldn't have been the auctioneer. She was one of the attendees. Oh, she did the wiggle. As I've been saying since the start, there's no way Kay can be the murderer. Because she had been pushed down the hatch by her assailant and knocked unconscious by that time. So then, who was the victim, really? The victim must not have been the auctioneer, but an attendee. Oh, Courtney's back. I mean, whatever her name is now. That's enough. I know that sound all too well. Hey bitch, what's up? Verity. Order in the court. All rise for the chairman. Oh, there's no need for that pomp and circumstance, Verity. I don't remember his voice. I gave him like a horribly nerdy voice. Oh no. Please, everyone, please feel free to call me Celsius. Alright. They say there are all sorts of families, but I'm not sure these two are what they meant. I might need to light a fire under this investigation, but it seems not. Men, detain the suspect immediately. Wait, Miss Faraday is innocent. Dude, what have you done to your Zippo? Zippo mistreatment! Your unlawful investigation ends here, and it will not be permitted to resume. In case you have forgotten, you are no longer a prosecutor. You have no authority here. And what's more, there's a matter of you aiding and abetting a suspect. Everything I do knowingly, but if you wish to prosecute me for it, be my guest. But know this. We have uncovered a new suspect. This person here. Ms. Faraday was attacked by this
Overruled.
You can stop right there, Mr. Edgeworth. The raincoat in your picture was discovered nearby a short while ago. The victim's blood was found on the hood, along with some cherry blossom petals. Cherry blossom petals? Like the ones on the roof. Yes. They were stuck to the edges of the bloodstain, probably due to the blood being fresh at the time. One by the victim. Fingerprints and blood was found on the hood. But no, this completely undermines our entire case! All our assumptions were based on the person in the red raincoat being the killer. But if they were the victim instead, then Kay remains at the top of the suspect list. Miss Faraday, you testified to having encountered a person in a red raincoat up on the roof, correct? We now know that that person was the murder victim, and you are the only person we know who came into contact with her. Since one of you wound up dead, I think we all know how that encounter went.
Objection!
No, Kay was attacked by this person. She's the victim here, not the aggressor.
Overruled.
As far as I recall, we have yet to see any evidence that proves she was attacked as you claim.
Dude, she's like fucking mummified.
And even if such proof existed, Mr. Ringer could simply have been acting in self-defense. Miss Ringer.
Well, you can't just jump to conclusions like that. Kay is innocent.
But I'm not.
Oh no.
Something about the raincoat brought it back.
Oh, sweetheart. No, you're not. You can't be.
This court recognizes the legitimacy of the accused memories.
You said you didn't believe it like 5 minutes ago.
I only believe what's convenient for me. I commend you on your bravery, Miss Faraday. It will not go unrewarded. Praised be to the goddess of justice for her many blessings.
Objection!
Get him. As an official representative of Interpol, I hereby request the suspect be...
Overruled.
We don't have time for this. We must arrest Kay Faraday this instant.
How dare you take that tone with me? This is a gross overreach of authority. I demand you give us more time to investigate. You say my investigation is unlawful? What could be more unlawful than this?
Unfortunately, you no longer speak for the law. Speaking of the law, it seems there is one other we must arrest.
Oh no. Won't be our first time. Let's do squat!
You went too far this time, Mr. Edgeworth. You conducted an unlawful investigation, whereas you aided and abetted the flight of a suspect. You are no longer even an ex-prosecutor. You are a criminal, nothing more. This court is adjourned.
Yay, holding! To be continued. Yes, we would like to save our progress. April 6th, Detention Center. Holding. Gross. I don't want to be here. Never thought I'd spend another night in here again. And they stripped me of all the evidence we so painstakingly gathered. Even if they did let me keep Kay's Yatakarasu pin. I can't help but worry about her. They'd better be treating her well. Shouldn't she also be in holding? Can we just like yell down the fucking hallway and be like, "Hey, sup?" A visitor. Who?
No, though I'm not sure what to even say to him. Waiting. They're leaving me unsupervised. Verity. Judge Gabrielle. Please, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a seat. What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagined you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. Dirty girl. What could she possibly want from me now? I suppose I'd better find out. You may not be aware of this, but you are only permitted to meet with specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? I suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. It has indeed. For you, of course, and your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite the fuss earlier. Thunder and Emma. I saw them launch some extremely heated words at one of the guards. No, you didn't. You may thank the goddess in that regard, for even she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come here just to chit-chat with me? You must have a lot of time on your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Ms. Von Karma is continuing the investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you would be worried about how they were all doing. I hate to admit it, but she read me like a book. Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I'm here simply to talk, nothing more. There's something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes, who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. I'm handsome too. And a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Gabrielle, your sarcastic praise is but salt on my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth, and that's why I failed to understand you. He says hi, Takai. Thanks. Thanks, Takai. Hi, Mio. Take this latest case, for example. You were up against the very committee itself, and you had no hope of succeeding. Even a child could have seen that, and yet... I don't imagine the old me would have ever been so reckless. The old me had power, and because of that I thought that justice was always on my side. Just as you and the committee believe now. But a certain person changed my mind. He made me reckon with my selfishness and skewed sense of justice. And once the scales had fallen from my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I saw that I was only able to be an effective prosecutor thanks to the efforts of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigative officers of the force, and even Kay. It changed me. The degree to which it changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. Me and my unnecessary feelings. You understand me? I highly doubt it. Someone who's so focused on forcing their idea of justice onto others can't possibly see what I see. Is that so? Is that what you truly believe? I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Bitch, I'll stab you. Before I go, there is one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. It will be held today in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that was all you had to tell me, you could have just sent a message. And entrust the goddess's words to another. That wouldn't do now, would it? Until then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you again very shortly. We have to go to our own thing? I guess so. Later. Man, it's a good thing you're hot, or people would not put up with your bullshit. Back to the holding cell. Guess we're just here now. The window is barred with heavy steel. Reminds me of a movie I once saw. A prison inmate hatched a plan to escape by using a file to cut his cell bars. I won't be doing that, of course. For one thing, I don't have a file on me at the moment. What am I saying? I wouldn't do that even if I had one. A very adventure game protagonist of you. There's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Please make the necessary mental preparations before using the toilet. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? That's upsetting. There's a menu here on the table. Seems that detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. It looks good. Spaghetti and mac and cheese lunch. Add linguine for only $1. Basmati brown rice special for a limited time only. Add regular white rice at no extra cost. Probably for the best that I'm not very hungry. Barely spent any time in here and already I can feel my personal appearance slipping. I may have given up my badge, but I mustn't give up on myself. My collar is slightly creased. There. Tidy outside begets a tidy inside. Which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. A very normal man. A very basic bed. I can't say it was very comfortable to sleep on, however. I imagine Detective Gunshoe would sleep soundly on it nonetheless, loudly snoring all the while. I suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. I don't have any regrets about the bed I've made. I will follow my own path to the end. Alright. Oh. There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that due to the warden's arrest, the Die of Destiny game will be discontinued. Inmates will no longer need to roll a die every morning to determine their meals for the day. We wholeheartedly apologize to those who were looking forward to the daily casting of the die. Did anyone really need an apology for the cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place? Do I have another visitor? Oh. Hey! Thank goodness, you seem alright. A load off my mind. Hate you so much, dude. But you're still not your usual cheery. I mean, you have to stay positive, Kay. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? None at all. I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we spent quite a bit of time together. These 2 weeks that I've known you. And I dare say you left quite the impression on me. You see, there's still plenty of you left. That's why I believe so much in your innocence, and why you should believe in yourself too. Okay, no. This is the justice you and the committee stand for. What is he up to? Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? I can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong here. There's some hidden agenda at play. Ugh, there's no time to second guess myself. If I'm going to find out what it is, it's now or never. Wait. Oh, we're gonna mine chest the chairman? Alright. Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kay charged with murder? It doesn't make any sense. There must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. The only way out of our current predicament is through Chairman Winner. So much to ask and so little time. I'll start by trying to find out why he rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. I can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers if it's the last thing I do. Why were you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Nope. Okay. I can't just let this happen. Easier if I just use the mouse. We'll use the mouse. I'm sorry for the mouse on screen. And what do you mean, what then? Until I interfered. Coming along nicely. That's a pretty strange way of putting it. Almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. It certainly doesn't sound like the statement of an impartial representative of the law. Chairman Winner certainly knows how to dodge a question. It doesn't change the fact that serious doubts remain concerning Kay's arrest. Next, we'll need to press him on whether he really believes this investigation was sufficient. I need to drink tea. We can't allow any of his statements to go unexamined, no matter how trivial they may seem. Thank you for the tea, Mio. One of them may just give us the breakthrough we need. How much time was spent on your investigation altogether? And I'm sure you can. You won't bluster your way out of this one. I think that's because you don't like him very much. Never mind your fool of a son, answer me. How long did you spend on the investigation? He's only too happy to derail the conversation no matter where I take it. I have to force him to take this seriously. Let's try another track for now. You can hardly say your investigation was sufficient, and you're the one who called the shots, weren't you? Including the decision to have Kay arrested. You're the chairman of the committee. It doesn't get much more influential than that. Not that I care about such things. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the deferential type. Onmyo is grounded from Pomp until Tequila and stuff, so I suppose Mobile will clean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ground you from your computer, Mio. Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt, then I'm afraid... I don't care. I don't need that badge anyway. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all end-all for me. Far from it. I'm not concerned with titles or roles. Even you must understand that much. So young. So very young. Well, that certainly got under his skin. He might be less caught in his answers while he's in this state. Now's my chance. What a coincidence, so does mine. Now answer the question, do you believe that your investigation was sufficient or not? I've got you. Okay. Well, that was bad. This is... Okay, so when he's glaring like that... I mean, it's not very much of a glare, but... Hardly. I was just thinking about how best to proceed. Getting answers from the elderly requires sensitivity. It can get quite emotional after all. No. It's simple, because I'm not about to let the truth escape me. Tragically and miserably pointless. A decision has been made. Once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt has already been determined from before her arrest. That you planned to have her arrested. I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal right from the very start. Well, Chairman Winner, was it? We must confirm the legitimacy of Kay's arrest. It's faint, but the truth is finally beginning to emerge. I'm not about to let this opportunity pass me by. Kay is innocent. Wait, we're not done yet. Who gave the order? Who gave the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested? I don't have a clue as to how to proceed. Alright. So I have questions. What grounds did you have? Based on everything I've heard from you so far, clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded. How dare you take this so lightly? Ugh, excuse me. Big yawn. How dare you take this so lightly as a man of the law? Chill. Or are you just pretending to be busy? You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. Why are you so keen to get out of this conversation? It's not a suspicion, it's a certainty. There were no clear grounds on which to base Kay's arrest for a start. Those are. It's true I can't counter your argument right now. You did let something very valuable slip. As a suspiciously detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. You rattled off that list like you knew it inside and out. I think that might prove to be a valuable clue. Kay is innocent. Okay. I'd appreciate if you stopped playing the old man card. You remember the details of the evidence against Kay pretty clearly. Perhaps if your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient, I'd be more inclined to believe you. So let me ask you again, who gave the order for Kay's arrest? Your son could learn a thing or two from a Your son could learn a thing or two from a rock, sir. I don't want to hear about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest. Fucking cry about it. Alright, I need to move stuff. I'll be right back.
Alright, back. Sorry about that. The key thing to do now. Establish how intimately he knows the details of the case. I just have to ask the right questions. The endgame is at hand. We're but a few moves away from the truth. You seem to know an awful lot about the case. You just smirk like that. You've had the same can't be said about the way you handled Kay's arrest. It's only taking so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. If only you'd stop giving me the runaround, we'd be done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the case quite intimately. Why is that? But you keep saying how busy you are. That's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you're a very busy man. I'd say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? You're so keen on being an upstanding leader, you can start by releasing Kay, you know. Did you see exactly? We've yet to hear much about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct? These little fucking eye teeth. He knows things even we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of every tiny detail about this case. Could be a valuable clue. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly? Time to deploy my clue. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know details that even those investigating the scene of the crime were not aware of. Why is that? Just how much do you really know, Chairman Winner?
I'll take that as a compliment. You want us to load her down with? Load her down with. Yet another interesting turn of phrase. The one that makes it sound a lot like the items Kay was carrying must have been foisted upon her. Mr. Ex-Prosecutor, I don't fucking care. It's finally time to shed light on the truth. And all that's left to play is one last move. Kay is innocent. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so she would take the fall instead. That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer. His beard caught on fire for a second. That was weird. And that's checkmate. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought you could get away with it. Well, you won't. Not if I can help it. But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve? Utterly infuriating. What are you trying to say? You're so sincere, sometimes it's painful. Oh. But why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened? Curse you. Go fuck yourself. You'll pay for this. I'm not planning to disappear just yet, Chairman Winter. There's still a hearing later today.